Hello, my name is Carole. Welcome to my sewing room. This is #Friday Sews, where this week I'm going to talk about the Mr. Strong costume that I made for my grandson for World Book Day, which was yesterday, and some little things I've made for Mother's Day, which is coming up in the UK on Sunday. Now, I'm well aware that my lovely American friends have Mother's Day in May, but ours is March, as we all know. So I've made a couple of gifts for my mum for then, and that's all I've really had time for this week, but I have bought 2 new patterns. Thank you for joining me. #Friday Sews was of course started by the lovely Jen from Today and Jen's Sewing Room, who has created the most enormous sewing YouTube community. We're all different. There are so many channels out there. Please go and support everybody and watch everybody by searching for the hashtag in the search bar. It's just an incredible big beast of a thing, and I just so enjoy watching all the #Friday Sews, just seeing what everybody's made or what they've been buying in the last week. It's been brilliant. I'm going to start with 2 patterns I bought this week. I don't often buy patterns, but one of them was the thing on YouTube. We're all enablers. We all encourage each other to spend money. And the lovely Tiffany from Hoosier Handmade has recently made a t-shirt using Simplicity 9273, which she says is her new favourite t-shirt. Now, I've looked at this pattern for quite a long time. It runs from extra small to extra large, which is amazing. Now, I think Tiffany's made the version here with gathered sleeves. I'm really tempted to have a go at this one here with the very random looking sleeves. They look like they're crumpled. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do it before I go away, but I certainly want to try and have a go at that. But I had to look, even the line drawings didn't tell me much about that, so I had to actually have a look inside. That is the pattern piece for it. Isn't that strange? I think what it basically is, and when I looked a bit further, it's pleats. So it might not look quite as bad as one imagines. There's the bit there. So they're literally not pleats, but kind of tucks with the excess fabric. I don't know. I mean, the thing is, if you've got enough fabric, it's only a sleeve, so I can try that sleeve. And if it doesn't work, I'll just pop a normal one on. But I don't know, I thought I'd give it a go. Be very different. So thank you, Tiffany, for encouraging me to purchase this t-shirt. The second pattern I bought was a result of going through my phone and on Facebook. I think popped advert for my favourite shop that I used to use all the time called Fat Face. And in there they had a kind of top with a polo. It's like a shirt, like a blouse, but with a polo collar in knit, sort of 3/4 sleeves with the turn back, just so it's a knit kind of shirt, very relaxed. And I thought I'll pop a picture in, but I thought, yeah, I'm sure there must be a pattern out there for that. So I did. I trolled through everything. The nearest one I could find was actually a style arc pattern, and I know the instructions are a bit dodgy with style arc, but I got hold of the actual printed pattern. And this was designed, obviously it's meant to be kind of a golfing top, which I don't play golf. But yeah, I really like the look of this kind of relaxed blouse sort of thing for spring. So bought the pattern, not sure if I've got suitable fabric, but it's certainly something that I'm going to try and have a go at when I get back. So this is the Ralph Knit Polo top. So if anybody's made that, please let me know, see how you got on. But yeah, I really like the look of it. The one I saw in the shop had the kind of rolled up sleeves. Well, that's easy enough to do. You can just add a tab, and as long as it's wide enough here to roll up. But if I don't, then I'll just cut it 3/4 length and be done. But yeah, so those are 2 patterns that I bought this week. Mr. Strong, that's what I was asked to make, and I hope I've done a good job. I'm filming this Wednesday, the day before World Book Day, but because the costume will have been worn by the time this goes out on Friday, I thought I'd show you what I did. And here he is. I hope you think that's a really good copy of Mr. Strong. These books, see, I remember these as a child as well. So they've been going since the 70s for sure. But this is what Ollie wanted to be, Mr. Strong. It's been my whole week's work, I have to say. We were away at the weekend, so I didn't have a chance to start it until late Sunday night. But he's done, and I'm very excited for Ollie to wear him. So how did it come about? Right, if I deconstruct him, then I can show you. So basically I started with just a sweatshirt and joggers, and I made it from Simplicity 8526, used 1,000 times before. But I have to say, as he's getting older, he's very sort of thin up top, but quite long. And what happened this time, and I'm trying not to be picky because it's literally for one day, but this is too wide on him. Even when I was sewing it up, I kind of knew that. So that's a bit of a shame, but what he's going to do is wear a red t-shirt underneath. I'm trying not to let that bother me. I certainly don't want to take it apart now. I sewed these on by hand using blanket stitch. That's just black felt. The idea is, because he'll wear it to school, but there's no way he can sit in cardboard all day. So I thought to keep the element still there, if I put the same smiley face, I just love looking at that face, smiley face on, then he still keeps the character. This here is just 2 cardboard pieces, thank you very much Amazon, and I've made it sort of like a tabard, so he can wear that over when he goes to school or if he's in a parade or anything. Same eyes and mouth. So this is 2 cardboard ends of a box, and I put them, rather than paint them or anything, I actually made pockets for them in red, just poly cotton, and sew them together. And I make sure this was sort of over his shoulders. So I think that will create a very good look. That was almost the easy part. The hard part was the hat, and I think I talked about it to you last week, and you were all so lovely and you gave me some amazing suggestions. I had a green hat in the loft, but the trouble with that hat is it went straight across at the top, and every hat I looked at did a very similar thing. Or they were like a cowboy hat with kind of 2 dents, but didn't create that exact shape. So that's what I was looking to achieve. I did, but it's caused me many blisters and pinpricks trying to sew felt onto cardboard. So if I put a picture in how I started, it all started with a dinner plate and some more cardboard. I was very lucky in what I decided to do in the beginning. I just measured Ollie's head, and then I started to snip into the middle, as you can see in the photo, and it's then kind of worked out when it sat nicely on his head. What I was originally going to do was start with just a ring. I'm glad I didn't, because this way I could fit it gradually, and it's also given the hat some stability. Bear in mind, I've never made a hat like this in my life, apart from a beanie hat. So next stage was to get some green felt, which I did. I then had to get the ring. Now I wanted the top to be smooth at least, and the bottom isn't smooth, but we'll ignore that for now. So the top is smooth, and what I did was create a big ring, cut a bit out the middle, and I did a gathering stitch round sort of the outside and then pulled it in around, so the top does look smooth. So then I was left with the green ring and some struts. So I just sewed a rectangle out of felt and sewed up the sides. And what I worked out was actually that shape is just kind of a rectangle, but sort of chopped down, sort of dented down in the middle. So that actually made it quite easy. I then had to hand sew the felt tube all the way round. That wasn't easy. I tried to use a curved needle, but I couldn't get on with that at all because it's quite difficult. But luckily the cardboard's fairly flexible, it allowed me to bend it a bit. So this is what I've got, and I've said to him that he's basically just got to chop it down. And I tried many different ways of securing that to stay down, but it just didn't work, didn't look right. And I knew I was beginning to be a bit too picky. The only thing is that at this stage I'm not sure of, but I don't think I will bother, is neaten up the inside. Obviously you've still got the cardboard there and you've got this here. Now whether I will put a lining in, I don't know, or am I being too picky? So by the time you see this, the decision will have been made anyway. I think it's best if I try it on him, and if these cardboard bits are annoying to him, then, you know, I can change it. I can't show you this really because it doesn't fit my head. But all in all, I was really pleased with the outcome of this once I kind of worked out what I had to do, and it did end up looking something kind of similar. There we go, Mr. Strong. I will send you back over to the normal Friday sews now. So as I said in my intro, Mother's Day is this weekend, and I had a bit of a panic because I hadn't kind of made anything for my mum. But then when I was recently at her house, I made her, I think a couple of years ago, some little kitchen towel, the hangers, you know, that hang over the rails, just with a little bit of a towel. So I quickly made a couple more of those. I couldn't find the pattern, but what I could find was just the piece here that I just cut for interfacing. So that was great. At least I had kind of the basic shape I wanted. So I just made two. I had these waffle tea towels anyway, so that's perfect. And I managed to get these fat squares from fat quarters from Hobbycraft, kind of a spring kind of pot plant sort of thing there. Now when I do this, what I can never work out is where to put the actual pattern direction. This one I did upside down because I thought, well, the tab's coming forward so that you'll see the tab and you want that the right way up. But then I did that one and then that tab's upside down, so I don't know. It doesn't really matter, but yeah, made Mum a couple of those. Now, this is a warning to Izzy, if you're watching, or Adam, or anybody that quilts, or Andra, because I had a go at designing a mug rug. Last year, Izzy put out lots of, from Dizzy Quilts and Sews, put out lots of tutorials on mug rugs that she designed. And I kind of enjoyed doing it and having a go. And I thought, I don't know, shall I have a go at trying to design one myself for my mum? So I did. Hats off to you if you do it, because this was my drawing. I did it on squared paper, and the idea was I just wanted an M pieced around and then an M in the middle. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing, but it involved maths, and so I drew that out and thought, is that going to be possible? Can I have a long strip here, two strips here, and some triangles, and anyway. So I did that, and then I realised, well, you've got to kind of allow seam allowance as well. I worked on the fact that these little squares, say, were 1/4 of an inch. So yeah, I've got to add seam allowance anyway. So there we have it. That's what I did, but I'm actually quite pleased with the results. My mum, although it's Emma for mum, her actual Christian name is M, starts with an M as well, so it's just perfect. But here we have it, and I know the M is a bit bold, but I think it's made quite a cute little mug rug, and I was kind of pleased with my sort of triangular bits of piecing there. And I then had these actually were from a jelly roll I used not very long ago, and this was just a nice bit of pink gingham. I thought it was quite nice, springy. So that's my first ever designed mug rug. I'm not sure I'll be doing any more because it was far more effort than I thought it would be. Yeah, M for mum. This lovely piece of fabric behind me here is the result of the latest spin for the Fabric Wheel of Fate. Now, I put out that video earlier this week. I made 2 items I'm very pleased about. It was a zip-up jacket and some joggers. Now, if you don't know what I'm on about, my fabric wheel of fate is I've got a fabric wheel and I spin it to decide what fabric I'm going to do next. And it was a kind of a bluey sweatshirting. I had 3 meters of this stuff. So it's made quite a gap in my fabric stash now, so I'm quite pleased. And I got 2 wonderful items out of it. The next spin was this French terry fabric, which I have an idea for, and there's a pattern I really want to try that I have, but I'm a bit worried because everything I see, actually all the ones made up are all plain fabric, so I don't know how it's going to work, but I think it's worth taking the risk. I'm going to try it. So yeah, that is what I will be working on in the next few weeks. I still have so much embroidery I need to do by our Disney holiday in a couple of weeks, and it's through all my fault of my own, and I've got stuff for my daughter to do. But a lot of you have commented on how I do my embroidery, because fingers crossed at the moment it seems to be coming out really well. So I will do a short video next couple of weeks on how I'm doing it. Now, it could be wrong, might not be the proper way of doing it, but what I'm doing at the moment works for me. But of course, I'm going to do some embroidery on it, but you can bet your bottom dollar that that is the time that it's going to go completely wrong when I start filming it. But I just got to take the risk. So yeah, I hope you enjoy that when that does come out. As I said, I'm not an expert. It's just the way I'm doing it at the moment seems to be a success. I have a collab coming up with the wonderful Izzy from Dizzy Quilts and Sews very shortly in the next couple of weeks. And we are both on a mission to get a t-shirt that doesn't have these lines here. Now, we've both tried various things in the past, so we thought we'd try this, and it is a big full pattern. So poor Izzy is being stepped out of her comfort zone with it. But yeah, that's coming for the next 2 weeks, and I've been working on that. It's harder than I thought it would be, I will admit, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to the results of that and seeing what you think. I've still got some things that I really want to get sewn up. One of them is this, which will be a quick make. I feel like I almost need to do a whole load of batch cutting, just spend an evening or something cutting out all these things that I need to do, because then that'll be quicker. You seem to work through things a lot quicker when they're already cut, ready to go. But at the moment I have to kind of clear my table first to cut the stuff out, then I've got to put everything back again. So yeah, if I just had a session of batch cutting, I think I'd be a lot better. I've got a couple of presents I want to make for my friend who's both her daughters are having babies imminently. So I want to make some more of those little joggers I made a couple of weeks ago. I had this beautiful knit fabric here that I want to make a kind of cardi for, which is Kwik Sew 3693, and I know it's a quick make. If only I could get this stuff cut out. So I've got that. I've got another pair of shorts I want to make for my holiday. I'm hoping next week is going to be a bit calmer. Seem to have been away for so many weekends. I've sort of eaten into my sewing time. This weekend, Sunday, as I said, is Mother's Day, and my daughter and I are going for a spa day. We decided that we'll go and just chill out and just be us rather than mums or grandmother or whatever. So we're just going for a spa day all day. It's going to be wonderful. My husband and my daughter's husband are taking the boys out somewhere, so that can be the men's day out while we chill in the spa. But I do have Saturday, so I should manage to get some sewing done. We had a marvellous weekend down in our caravan. We recently bought a holiday home the other side of Dorset. We're the Hampshire side of Dorset, and we bought it on the Devon side of Dorset. So honestly, driving down the weather was appalling. We had sleet, we had snow, we had hail, we had everything driving down on the Friday night with all the stuff. But the next day cleared up on the Saturday, and then the rest of the family came down and we had a fun weekend together. But the Sunday was absolutely beautiful. At one point my husband was actually in a t-shirt. So yeah, the views from our holiday home are just stunning, and we did a couple of walks So of course I will share those photos at the end of the video, but it's, oh, we can't wait to go back. We're going back in a couple of weeks. Cannot wait, and didn't want to come away because it's really going to be a home from home. But I still have to take my sewing machine down there and some bits and bobs, so I can sew when I'm down there as well. Thank you very much for joining me today. I'm sorry, I really don't feel like I've had much to share. Obviously, I've been so involved in doing this costume. I will put a photo at the end of my grandson wearing it. He was initially a bit worried, apparently, but once he got into school and saw everybody else in costumes, he was fine. I think next year he'll be 7 going on 8. I think it'll be very different. It'll be he'll choose something much less obvious, I think. But yeah, it was fantastic fun to make this costume. So thank you very much for joining me. And I will just say an apology for last week. I think a lot of you were put off and thought I did a bit of a kind of fun intro. And I think a lot of you honestly thought that I was selling something on my channel. I will never be doing that, and certainly if I ever did, which I won't, I will put that in the title. But yes, a couple of people commented on it, and I hadn't even crossed my mind that that's what you might think that I was doing. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Happy sewing, have an amazing weekend, and I will see you all shortly. Bye bye for now.